What if everything you see, touch, feel, smell, taste, hear, think, feel, and do is not real? What if it's all just a computer simulation? Sounds like science fiction, right? Well, not really. Philosophers and some scientists, including Elon Musk, say the chances of us living in what they call base reality, the real world, are very low. Think about it. We experience strange coincidences, glitches in our memories, inexplicable déjà vu. Some experiments even suggest that our universe behaves like a giant quantum computer. If that's true, then everything around you, including you, are just code running on a super powerful computer somewhere. But if that's the case, who's the programmer? And why are we in this simulation? And most importantly, can we ever log out or break the simulation? Well, for now, these are just questions without answers. But here's what we do know. Reality might be stranger than we can possibly imagine. You see, we often take for granted the fact that we can experience things like love, joy, grief, anger, happiness, and sadness. We assume that these feelings are just part of human nature, that they're hardwired into us. But what if that's not true? What if these emotions are actually just lines of code, just ones and zeros that make up our so-called reality? Now, I know this might sound crazy, but stay with me here. This idea of a simulated reality isn't as far-fetched as you might think. In fact, it's something that many philosophers and scientists, including some of the brightest minds at the forefront of their fields, have been exploring for decades. For example, consider the work of Nick Bostrom, a philosopher at the University of Oxford who has written extensively on the simulation hypothesis. Bostrom argues that if technological progress continues at its current pace, it's only a matter of time before we're able to run simulations of human life on computer. And if that's possible, then it means that we might already be living in a simulation created by a more advanced civilization. Of course, this raises the question, if we're in a simulation, who's running it and why? To answer that question, we have to look no further than ourselves. As humans, we have the capacity to create incredibly immersive virtual worlds that can fool our senses and emotions. Just think about the video games that we play today. They're becoming so realistic that it's almost impossible to tell the difference between them and real life. Now imagine a civilization that's much more advanced than ours, a civilization that's able to create simulations that are indistinguishable from the real world. It might sound like science fiction, but it's not as far-fetched as you might think. In fact, there are some experiments that suggest that our universe itself behaves like a giant quantum computer. Experiments like the double-slit test seem to show that particles like electrons can be in two places at once. This suggests that our universe is fundamentally a quantum computer. If that's true, then everything we experience is just code running on a super powerful computer somewhere. So the next time you take something for granted, remember that it might not be as real as you think. In fact, reality might be stranger than we can possibly imagine. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, make sure to check out my other videos about the mysteries of the universe.